never fucking had it.
Shut
No way.
Never fucking
No
had it.
way.
Like, Austin, you trying to tell us something else right now?
All that experience, all that emotions, all the things that happen in that one life is boiled down to what we call instinct. And that's the only thing we can bring over to the next life.
Coincidence? Coincidence? Coincidence. There cannot be three. Right on, right on. Welcome back to the Collective Mind podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a short one, I figure, but we're going to get off that unlucky number, episode 33, right back into 34. So the movement continues. So, Ledger.
Yeah.
What you got for me today, buddy?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing. Waiting on you.
You don't know nothing? You don't know about
You
Brian
said
Stelter being canceled?
Oh yeah, Brian Stelter and CNN.
Leaving CNN. So I wonder too
CNN.
If it was CNN Plus that was dropped, but his version of CNN, his little I guess corner that they put him in is reliable sources with Brian Stelter. Well, that is being canceled. Mixed reviews. Mainstream media is trying to make it a soft blow on him, but he quite obviously is the joke of a host, as we all knew he was. And yeah, he's definitely controlled by the dollar. Doesn't care about selling his soul, which you'd think that'd be one thing you'd take care of if you looked, talked, and just like that guy and walked, talked and walked.
Well, there's another type of CNN, and it's like more in our schools would play it. It was called CNN 10, and
CNN 10.
Yeah, they shout out different schools, and they shouted out our school not that long ago.
God, I hated that when I was in high school. How I didn't even hate it. I didn't even know back then. Actually, I considered myself a more democratic left version of that, which most kids do actually, because it's how they represent it to kids. They're like, oh, the Republicans are old and gross white people that want the government to own you. And I mean, at certain times in history, some of that's kind of fucking true, but in all honesty, with like everything that's been going on in the past and everything, it's manipulation. It's a soft. So like your CNN 10 is going to be soft core. It's like, this is reasonable. That's probably the most reasonable version of CNN that's ever been created. You turn on regular CNN and it's like, oh, they're terrorists, parents not wanting to teach your kids about pornography and how to masturbate and change their gender when they're
I have
6.
something about that for you. So I was on the bus one day, and this kid, he was maybe in 3rd grade, and he had this little pamphlet, and it was like had some guy on it, and it was like, and some girl, it was like telling him pretty much like about sex and stuff. I'm like, dude, you're like what, 7, 8? Like
a little kid had that?
Yeah, and the school was giving them out. I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy. I remember when we were in 5th grade, they ended up taking the girls. They separated the boys and the girls. So the boys went to an assembly. And it was 5th grade, I believe. And they ended up not teaching us anything. The guy came out. He was, PE teacher. They always act badass. And he's like, do you guys know why you're here? And someone was like, to learn about sex. He's like, no. And then we just like had PE, and they ended up saying, like, sending out to the parents, like, the boys were too immature for this conversation, which kind of pissed me off back then. But now I'm like, it's so true. 5th grade boys are way too immature for that conversation. And the girls, they got like, they start earlier with puberty and stuff. So it was like, hey, this is going to happen, like professional,
Now that I'm looking back on that pamphlet, I'm pretty sure it was like talking about like being tranny and stuff on that thing.
I mean, it could have been. It's pretty crazy. Oregon right now is trying. Yeah, Oregon, California, and Washington are trying to compete at who can become the biggest piece of shit. Obviously, California already takes that cake, but between Governor Inslee for Washington and Governor Cunt Brown for Oregon, they are in a total battle to see who can take as much rights from like regular people, everybody, and as well as like destroy the whole home family, the whole and corrupt the children. Washington actually, I believe last year or the year before, did it to where they were going to start teaching kids about sex like very early, like third grade, maybe even earlier. And people started freaking out about that. Like a lot of Washington people are homeschooling or going to private schools right now, which is harder because you don't get to take your taxes and the 10,000 whatever they take in taxes per each kid, because each kid is about $10,000, and be able to put your kid into a school that you choose for that. However, that's something that Republicans are working towards to do, because you shouldn't be forced to put your kid. You have to legally put your kid into school. You legally have to. It's against the law to not put your kid into school, whether you're schooling them, whether or you public or private.
They have to have some type of education of some sort.
Exactly. So when it comes to the government taking your tax dollars, which is a form of theft, you should be able to choose. No taxation without representation. You should be able to choose where your kid goes to school. You know what I mean? If you don't like this school, you should be able to choose another one. It shouldn't be based on districts or whatever. If you're willing to drive there and drop the kid off, good for you. Part of it should be paid for with the money that they give out from the state.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Quick question. How's my audio? Can you hear my AC?
No, I can't. You sound good.
Okay. All right.
I think I'd be able to hear it, but we'll always figure that stuff out in editing and stuff. But on to the next quick little news short here is I guess China's going bankrupt, which isn't too like, it doesn't amaze me, because China was going bankrupt back in 2019. They were actually in the middle of a revolution where their people were like, we're done with the communist bullshit. Stop beating us, enslaving us, and killing us. Especially in the streets when they do protest peacefully, because they're not allowed to do that either. But reports are that China's going bankrupt pretty much because they're not on the gold standard. They're having financial hardships. That's probably what's holding them back. I believe China's behind like 75% of everything that's happened in the past 3 years, in correlation with elites and the US as well. It's not just them, but everyone right now and forever has always wanted to be like, Russia's the biggest threat ever. And I'm like, I don't think Russia's that bad of a place. They're not even honestly that communist anymore. Like, they're actually first world style, whatever. They do technically have, I guess, a dictator, but it's only because they don't have elections or like real ones, which is fucked up. But I mean,
hey, I know how it is. I watched Stranger Things season 4.
right. That was based back in the day when it wasn't Russia. It was
the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Thank you for that, because that just blew right past my head when I went to pull that one out of the suitcase I got here sitting in the brain of mine. So yeah, they were failing under Trump because he put so many like tariffs and restraints on them that they were, I don't know, all of a sudden COVID happened and they were the only country to not really shut down other than like 2 weeks or whatever. So
probably, well, adrenochrome, I mean, who knows if all these third world countries have that? I'm trying to figure out how to get my point across, because America and China seem like the people that were like freaking out the most about it, from what I see.
Well, China like locked everyone in, and I mean, everyone followed protocol. It's definitely elites running it, but China only shut down for like 2 weeks. And it's because they knew what was going on. They got the whatever. I mean, it's pretty much, I think the Dems pretty much gave them a heads up and let them try to you know what I mean? If your country is going bankrupt and you're one of the 3 world powers, the only way to make up for that is if everyone else shuts down for a year and a half to, slowly. I mean, it wasn't the entire thing, but states and, other little smaller countries as well and everything. But yeah. So that's good news for us.
Yeah.
Bad news for them. Good news for the American Patriot for sure. So next one, let's jump on this. So the Department of Justice is trying not to release the affidavit of Trump and everything for his search warrant for Mar-a-Lago, which it is being released, or documents are being released. I haven't done a whole lot of research into this, but pretty much all the information is being released. It's going to be heavily redacted, though, pretty much just like a big fat black marker over all the important shit we really want to see, which is whatever. But pretty much, I can't remember what his name was, but some dude was like, oh, I will release all the warrant to the public if Trump says it's okay, challenging Trump. And Trump came out and was like, not only do I say it's okay, but why don't you release like the affidavits and everything, the whole paperwork, all of it, pretty much showing like, because they have to have a reason, you know what I mean? A reason to come raid your house and look for everything. And the dude like backtracked and shut down and everything. Well, now they're going to do it, it sounds like, but it's going to be heavily redacted. So like all the shit we really don't. And they pull the whole bullshit like, oh, it's an open criminal case. And it's like, oh, so Trump's being criminally investigated. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't release why, because it's an open criminal case. Oh, Trump's being criminally investigated. Why? Oh, we can't do. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
After the dude came out and was challenged Trump, thinking he didn't have the balls to go, fuck you, show everybody everything. Let's be transparent here, which is exactly what the government needs to work on. So yeah, we're with that. Also, I don't know if you saw the short I did the other day about Anne Heche.
I did see it.
Yeah, the actress mysteriously died, allegedly she drove her car under the influence of substances or something, full speed into someone's house. And there was reports of her being like brain dead, also like having big brain problems. However, then the videos came out and she's like bursts out of either a body bag, or a lot of people are saying a burn bag. Like I saw a report of a firefighter saying that's a burn bag, rips out of it, sits up like a damn thing you'd buy at a Halloween store, one of those things that jump up and scare you. Is exactly the movement she did. Reaches up, tries to crawl over, it appears, and then they grab her arm and push her back. I don't know if it's real. If you watch it over and over and over again, it looks very movie-like or animated. It looks animated to me is the word. So I don't like, not real, stuff happens. People move.
What would I look up to find that?
Her name, so Anne Heche, like, crawling out of bag. I don't know. Some you'll find it. It's pretty easy to find. I thought it was actually going to be hard when I first was going to
going out of the car.
Not the car. You'll see her. They're just
the bag. Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, weird, like zombie weird, like zombie movie weird. And that's exactly what it looks like. And then it freeze frame, it kind of looks like part of her hair is missing, but her back doesn't have burns on it, which doesn't mean anything because, once fire gets into your lungs, you're pretty much fucked. However, the conspiracy behind that is that if that was her, that they were forcefully taking her, obviously. And
I'm looking right now.
Could have gave her something in the ambulance that like shuts you down. Which if she was on like cocaine or any uppers or anything, if they give you something to put you out, it'll fucking kill you. But anyway, the report is that they got her to the hospital, put her on a goddamn ventilator, which is funny because these doctors have been
killing people with those.
Yeah, professional. They're professional now. The doctors are killing you, blowing your lungs out, whatever you want to wherever which way you want to go with that. With the ventilators, it's just funny how nobody comes off of those anymore. They're all dead.
Yeah.
And we've been hearing about that for
Look at the
2.5
picture of
years
her that I just sent you.
on chat.
Messenger.
Oh yeah, I don't have my phone, but yeah, I do know. I've seen all the videos.
Yeah, that doesn't look right. She looks like she's face down, like she sits all the way up.
But she like leans up with her back.
Yeah.
Like nobody sits up like that. It's like like as you're going up, you like reach up and your back goes back like that. Like I'm doing it right now. No one can see me, but that's like how it is. And then like, yeah, dude, it's very weird. Everything about that, they're saying murder, they're saying whatever. My first question when I heard that though, you know what it was? It was
What?
was she driving a Tesla? But here's the thing.
First question is,
go ahead.
When I seen it, it was like, what did she do? Or like, was she gonna say something? Or like,
yeah, you saw that? Yeah, dude, she's been trying to say something for years, which is crazy that she was with Ellen because Ellen's background. We're not going to get into it, but
she's trying. I bet she's gonna expose all of them.
Well, she's exposing the elites in her new. She has a new movie coming out that she's in next month about child trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And if you revert back to the first episode of the Collective Minds podcast, and then we just hit it again the other day on another episode, revitalizing that. I don't know if it was our last one, the one before that. I think it was the last one though. On 33 is that I believe that this whole pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, it all started because of the lack of adrenochrome. I do believe that. Everything makes sense leading up to it. All of a sudden, the elites lose their availability of children, right? Which going back to China, yeah, you were right. Their number one financial export that they do make, like the most money they make off of, is organ harvesting, which a lot comes from children. There's many stories about this. It's validated.
Okay, well, listen, this is what I was thinking the other day. I was thinking about all that and COVID and adrenochrome harvesting and how that all died into place, which, right before COVID broke out, Trump, and you know how he got all those child traffickers caught him, and
Oh, I'm very familiar. Yeah, he signed an executive order, and he ended up getting more in I think Obama. less than a year than all 8 years of Obama. Yeah. What's that tell you?
Yeah. And then I was thinking that definitely all ties together. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because then you had the celebrities all posting videos of them being acting batshit crazy.
Coronavirus.
And people, coronavirus. Yeah. Or Ellen being fucking weird. That was one of the weirdest ones. Tom Hanks, like all of the leading contributors that have conspiracies around him about adrenochrome were front page psychos. And it the conspiracies, of course, came out about it, but it's like, it makes sense. Why are they being weird? And your average Joe is like, oh, because they're so famous and so special that they're never dude, most celebrities, those people's ages, like maybe not the coronavirus girl, but Ellen and the other ones, right? Yeah, they want to be home. That's their safe haven. They love it, and people were mocking them. We were all mocking them. Oh, you're in this mansion, like all this, like you got your own gym in your house. You got, giant pools. You got whatever you want any time of the day you want. Why are you being so weird? The reason is, bro, they turn their houses into sanctuaries of rehabilitation centers is what it was. Rehab. Allegedly, adrenochrome is the hardest thing to get off of. It literally destroys you from the inside out. And I've seen drug addicts come off of stuff. We've all heard about it, seen it, whatever. Maybe some people have went through it themselves, and it's a horrible, fucked up thing. So to think that something 10, 100 times, 1,000 times stronger going through that. You know what I mean? What would you do? You know what I mean? They should have took the damn phones away if they wanted to cover that shit up, but they didn't get the chance to. Happened too fast. So let's go on to this next one, kind of the main topic. I don't know how deep we're gonna get into it, right? But it's the Kiely Rodni case, man. And I was kind of talking about it earlier. Everyone's on social media is just going off about it. I think it needs more light on it. Upchurch has been bringing all of his shit to it because he did the last case of Gabby Petito. He was like big on that. And so pretty much she's a 16-year-old girl, and it's officially 14 days today. So 16-year-old girl that went to a party with her 18-year-old friend and had other people there allegedly that are friends. Went to a party. They're saying some weird shit, like she was drunk, and then her friend who's 18 like ended up leaving because she didn't want Kiely to bring her home, and she thought she was like staying the night there, but it was weird, and there was like 300 people. Well, anyway, this girl and her car disappeared. There's a Honda CRV, I believe. It's like a SUV. And it's 2013, I believe. I can't remember, but just going off what I remember here, guys. So bear with me. But they've been looking for her. Her phone last pinged, as they said, it as much on land as on water. And it was later in the night, and her friend and everyone was saying they left at like a certain time, like an hour before this, and all this crazy stuff. And it's a weird situation because there's so many people there, and they got like the FBI, the sheriffs, of course, the regular cops that go and do it. They got crazy search teams, they got divers, they had what's it called? I can't remember. It's the international people though. Yeah, Homeland Security. They had Homeland Security. Yeah, which just got dismissed allegedly for quote because it was causing questions, which is interesting. So that could mean that there's a possibility that she got transported cross borders, which would make sense. I mean, she's in California, and our sister almost got abducted and possibly trafficked in California, and she only lived there for like 6 fucking months. But she was walking from her job, which outside of her job is a parking lot. She's walking across that parking lot to her car, and some dude in a van fucking grabbed her, and she's screaming, fighting him, and he's like dragging her to his van. And a bunch of guys, there was a bar also like next door or around the corner.
Some drunk guy.
Yeah, ran over and started like grabbing this guy and getting him off her. And the cop showed up and pretty much said, because this is California for you, that they couldn't do anything because like there was no crime committed or no like physical, like actual crime had been. Pretty much he had to have stolen her or hurt her or whatever for them to press charges on him, which is insane. He dragged her across the parking lot trying to kidnap her is what was going on. And she was what, 18 at the time?
Yeah, 19, maybe 18, about to turn 19. Yeah.
Right. In between there. She'd only lived there for like 6 months and that shit happened. That shit's crazy. So we're dealing with shitty California fucking liberal laws. We're dealing with a bunch of teenagers that don't want to talk, which I guess they've proven that she was there, because one of the ideas was that she did even make it there. Her cell phone made it there, but I guess the police have video of her there. And it's so weird. It's this weird conspiracy turning into kind of thing, because there was like one sweatshirt she was supposed to be wearing, but that sweatshirt had nothing to do with it. And the mom came out and was like, we should not go down any rabbit holes about sweatshirts. And then there was another sweatshirt made by Tyler, the Creator, one of his last albums that's no longer available, that she was wearing, that she may have borrowed from a friend. And then this girl named Sammy, who's the 18-year-old, which is allegedly her friend that allegedly went there with her, is like running this like offside Find Kiely team, and she's wearing a Tyler the Creator shirt. It's just a white shirt with a logo on the side, and she wrote with marker on it like Find Kiely or whatever. It's fucking coincidence right there.
I'm trying to think on which album it is.
It's one of the last one, like a year ago. It came out a year ago. I listened to almost all the album because I was like, there's something going on here. Something going on here. But dude, it gets even crazier. So on this one guy's channel, it's like ICKD Mel or whatever, I think is his name. On YouTube, this guy called in and he claims his name is Ronnie, right? And Ronnie says that he has two cousins, and his two cousins saw her there, which is weird because they don't know her, and there's 300 people there, and they were like, yeah, she's talking to everybody, and she was really drunk. And it's like everyone was really drunk. Everyone was talking to everybody. How did they know this? And then he trips up his words and ends up saying shit like, yeah, they saw her still there when they were leaving. But then he goes back on it and he's like, yeah, no, they didn't see her. It's crazy. Go ahead.
Was it Call Me If You Get Lost, that album?
Yeah, that's it. That one.
All right. Thought so. Yeah, that's all I was asking.
Which I know all about Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah.
And he's very negative, and I believe a lot of at least a song or two, maybe more, I know has some direct negative effect that leads directly to like demonic oppression, at least. I know that for a fact. I've actually experienced that firsthand by myself, and I'll release that story later at another point in time, not in this episode. However, so this Ronnie guy is talking to Ikmel or whatever his name is, and starts giving in all these facts, saying like, I wasn't there, but this is how it works, and like there's older guys there and they give the kids drugs, which makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, okay. And this party was like 2 weeks planned out, so like a shit ton of people there. People were saying people were coming from like 2 hours away, all sorts of crazy shit. And fucking Ryan Upchurch ended up diving into this guy and yelling at this guy and going through it, and was like, that's not what you fucking said. Pretty much everything I want to say and anyone else says to this guy, because for some reason he'll show videos and shit and it won't he won't like, he'll FaceTime this Ikmel guy, but he won't show his face. He won't show who he is, which is weird. And he won't say who the cousins' names are, which is also fucking weird. Like, if you're being transparent and giving information, you might as well be fucking transparent and give fucking information. You know what I mean? And he won't in that sense, like, to identify him. And the conspiracy on that is that this guy isn't actually a black guy, who this it guy fucking thinks is a black guy, and that he's actually a white guy, leading him to another direction because he's got such a big following. And all of a sudden, Upchurch got this person messaging him saying, like, I'm a local, I know shit about this, and so call me, whatever. And so Upchurch ended up calling him, talking to him, and their voices aren't the same, but they're kind of close if you listen to it in a way. I was like, is this Ronnie guy using some sort of like voice changing kind of, yeah, I don't know what you would do if you talked.
Is it on Upchurch's YouTube?
Yeah, a lot of it is, so go check that out after this. But okay. So this new guy, this random dude, is telling Upchurch all this shit, and Upchurch takes this guy's phone number, puts it in, looks up the addresses connected to it, goes to the addresses on Google and looks on the street view, and there's a black dude sitting in a chair with these shoes. Well, he screenshots the dude's shoes, sends it to this random person that allegedly knows nothing. He's just a local around the area. And he's like, that's Ronnie's shoes. And Ryan's pretty much like, how the fuck would you know that's Ronnie's shoes? Because there was a video of Ronnie before where he's walking, you could see his shoes. And he's like, you know, he doesn't say it, but pretty much he's like, why the fuck would this guy say that's Ronnie's shoes if it's a picture of a street view from the fucking phone number that gave us this address to look at the street view? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So he's like, this guy's a fucking plant. He believes Ronnie is fucking fake as fuck, a made up character that's
Yeah,
like made by these teens or young adults to fucking kind of direct everyone in this weird direction of like something happened to her, but it's not over here. And
I'll,
go
here,
ahead.
I'll read off some of Upchurch's on that on his videos on that.
Oh, for sure.
How
Go ahead.
here here's one day ago. How does Black Ronnie have white legs, bro? Lol. Laughing emoji face. Another example on my Ronnie and Milo are the same person in her case. Red flag Ronnie, a couple of them. He just has the Kylie or how do you pronounce that, the girl's name? Kiely Rodni or Ronnie. And then I see that he did something. Tony Dodge got on there. Some guy.
It's Kiely Rodni.
Okay.
Yeah. I know her name's Kylie. It's spelt fucking weird, but you know, California people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and Upchurch shared a video from that guy when he was FaceTiming him, but not even FaceTiming him, and he gets out of the car and well, when he's like turns the wheel, it looks like his hand like he could be a black guy. However, it's like that dark blue that happens when like you don't have enough light on your phone. And then yeah, he moves his legs and it looks white as fuck. And I'm like, you know, there's light skinned motherfuckers, of course, but he lives in California, bruh.
Right.
And it's summertime. If you're light skinned, dark skin, medium skin, the lightest of light skin, the last thing you're gonna be right now, I'm fucking tan, bro.
Right.
Like my legs are darker than this guy's legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Seen that.
And
That
so
guy
it's weird. I think there's some sort of voice, something that's going on here. That's my idea, is that it could be the same dude. And that's what Ryan thinks, is it's the same dude. Yeah, it's all made up, that they all created this Ronnie guy to redirect, and it's weird, bro. And everyone's like, he was definitely at that party. That's because he first called in, he was like, hold on, let me go downstairs so I could talk. And he's like, yeah, I got 3 kids. He's like, yeah, I got 3 kids, and my wife would kill me if I went to that party. And Upchurch is like, this guy doesn't sound like he has 3 kids, because he's talking about like, oh yeah, these older guys give like these younger girls these drugs so they'll like kick it with them. And it's like, that's obviously to fuck, and it doesn't make any sense how someone with 3 kids would be like whatever. However, there's lots of shitty fucking parents out there. You know what I mean? Well, you know, it's this weird conspiracy that we don't know what happened to her, but we feel like, or they feel, everyone feels like the people involved are actively communicating on a large scale with some of the biggest people available in true crime. And it makes sense. And here's the thing I keep trying to point out to people is, listen, motherfuckers, here's the thing that is traceable. And I've done fuck tons of research on FBI profiling. They always go back to the crime scene. And if they don't, they at least take what they call like treasures or souvenirs.
Mhm.
And which is weird, because they keep giving out these reports every other day, which they normally don't do with these, but it's to like gain traction, even though the traction's way huge. But they keep talking about her jewelry she was wearing, almost they found her body and are trying to find someone to be like, this person has this jewelry, like they're trying to find a murderer, which I don't know if that's legal or not. That'd be a big twist and spin on investigations. However, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and there was allegedly 300 people there, and they've gotten videos and stuff, but people weren't talking. And then like allegedly some adults were saying telling the kids not to fucking talk or they're gonna get in trouble. And then they kept coming out going, "We're not gonna get you in trouble. We just want to know where this girl is or her body." I'll tell you right now, though, 14 days. 14 days, you got two options. There's no way. All right, so mathematically speaking, and like from history and everything, 14 days, man. She's fucking either dead or she's human trafficked.
Yeah. Watch in like a week or two. She just says she can't remember where she went. She's blacked out, you know.
Well, there's no way. I was thinking like maybe she tried driving home and drove off a cliff. And it's just in a spot where they couldn't find it. But I mean, the search is incredibly huge, you know. But here's the weird thing, too. Today, it appeared that the cops were actually not looking at that party spot. They were looking at another spot at another lake. Almost. And then you got to look at that girl that allegedly is her friend and is like leading the investigation. And it's almost like she's trying to draw the police there. Like, this is where we start. This is here. This is it. It's like, that's not it though, bitch. And you know it. You know what I mean? And I guess there's some Snapchat videos of like allegedly her. They haven't proved it's her, the people, I mean, but people are 50-50 on it pretty much. It's like, this is her, this is not her. But I guess it's a trend or it's not a trend, but it's a video of her going, like the odds of your best friend murdering you is very low or something. And then it like clicks to this video of this girl like pushing this other girl's head down in a car, and it was like, but it's never zero or some shit like that. And then another weird ass video. Which is sus. And then they're all caught laughing, and they thought it was her ex-boyfriend, which was like misrepresented as like boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. And then he said that he talked to her, he texted her that night and was like, don't do anything stupid, like be safe or some shit, something like that. There's so many different reports about it, and it's just getting gnarly and gnarly. But and then another couple disappeared like 30 miles away from that, but then they were found. They crashed and died, which is going crazy. I mean, I get into deep conspiracies. I'm like, what if this girl doesn't even exist? Yeah, I mean, what if this is like the biggest senior prank ever? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I get into crazy ideas, shit like that. I'm, I get wild, bro. I do. I get wild with it, you know, or I'm like, what if that Sammy girl that is like leading the thing is this girl? And she's like, I identify as two people, you know, some weird fucking shit like that. But
yeah, that's something California would.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem is it's in fucking California. Nothing makes sense. However, like what does make sense is that the mainstream highway for trafficking people is through California, Oregon, Washington up to Canada, and then on the East Coast as well. And then there's a couple through the middle. But yeah, that's what's scary is like this girl totally could have been taken. I've been trying to figure out, I think, because you know how we have those abandoned buildings around here, like out in the middle of a fucking field in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, I see them all the time.
Right. And they're like a whole structure, but they're like totally fucking abandoned, like hundreds of years old or whatever. Like the sheds.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in the house from the 1800s in Athena, but
well, maybe even older than that. You know what I'm talking about? Like the farm.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like on the way to John Day.
Yeah, or I mean, they're anywhere. All over the fucking place. But how hard would it be for someone to pull into that with that car with her body in it? You know.
Yeah,
and you know, and like spray it down or throw bleach or some sort of chemical all over it and walk away. I think that's how this is going to end. I don't think somebody buried her. I think she's with that car, and if she's not with that car, she's in water somewhere.
Oh look, transporter plane again.
You got a transporter plane flying
I
above
got
you?
a transporter plane right above my house.
Well, Jay's not here because I think he said he's with a religious group and he said he might see something. I don't know exactly what that means, if it's boobs or if it's UFOs, but
Yeah, you never know with Jay.
I
Okay.
hope it's both for his sake. That'd be great. But
Well, hey, did you hear about what happened to me like a month ago?
no.
So remember
Was it really gay?
no. Remember when we seen that that spacecraft that one time?
Yes.
I seen it again, man.
The triangle UFO, yeah.
Yeah, except this time it would glow and like go really bright, like almost lighting up the sky.
Well, you were
Right.
probably closer to it.
I was sitting in my backyard on the hammock and I seen it.
We were driving through the fucking mountains chasing it, and all of a sudden it goes over a hill. We go
And
past
gone.
that hill and it's gone.
Yeah,
Probably went to that damn mountain.
probably. But no, it was like looking like it was above prairie. From where was that?
Gotcha. Let me read this though real quick. So 2 weeks after the suspicious disappearance and possible abduction of California 16-year-old Kiely Rodni, the investigation led to the arrest of a local sex offender on unrelated charges, police say. The operation, which occurred on Thursday, August 18th, resulted in several sex registrants being found in violation of their terms, with one arrest being made and criminal charges to be filed on another. The Placer County Sheriff's Office announced Friday morning the Truckee Police Department routinely conducts similar sweeps and it's committed to aggressively pursuing prosecution of those found to be out of compliance with any probation or parole terms. So it sounds like they did their recheck on fucking perverts, charge pedophiles and rapists and sex crime pieces of shit, and swept them all up, which is fucking, look at California go. Said several sex registrants. Maybe you should do it a little bit more if your fucking sweep pulls up more than one motherfucker breaking the fucking law. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that could be, oh, they didn't register, or it could be, oh, they live within this much fucking feet of a school, or you know what I mean? I think every city should do that. If I could point my tax dollars to one goddamn thing, it'd be making sure these pieces of shit were off the street, or at least not even close to children at all.
Yep. Put residential neighborhoods. Then after,
I want a big ass sign with lights on it in front of them going, I'm a fucking pervert piece of shit, is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ledger, thanks for all those news updates. You got anything else for me, bro?
Well, trying to think on what all was going on. You already covered Trump's house getting raided.
Hell yeah, I did.
Oh, trying to think. What all we got?
I'll give you 10 seconds.
I got nothing on shorthand notice.
All right. Quickest 10 seconds of my life. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming to episode 34 of the Collective Minds podcast. Keep it real, keep it right, keep it straight. Add, subscribe, like, comment, dislike, whatever the fuck floats your boat. We are here to not only entertain, but to update you on everything that's going on. The difference between us and a lot of these other people is that we're real. That's the big difference. So might come off harsh, might come off choppy, might come off not professional, but as I like to say, we're not unprofessional, we're unconventional. So get used to that. We are out.